You are now listening to the National Show with Gangsterville and McGee. The National Show, the National Show, the National Show, no show, no show. The National Show, the National Show, the National Show, no show, no show.
Best
All right, No Nation. This is the National Show with Gangsterville and McGee. And as always, if you are watching us live or recorded from YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at National. That's at NATIONOLE. And then on IGX and all the other links, you can catch us on Linktree/National Show. That's NATIONOLESHOW. And then you can also check us out at our website, national.com. That's NATIONOLE.com. Check out the latest episode and buy some merch while you're there. We got some shirts, some sweatshirts, some sweaters. Get yourself decked out in no gear and, rep that garnet and gold blood in your system.
Please. Sorry, I thought my mic was muted. I didn't mean to mess you up right when we started.
No, he's all good.
We got the best intro music in the game, baby.
Yes, sir.
We got the best intro music on the internet. I apologize in advance if you hear any weird sounds. There's construction going next door, which means it's time for me to be an adult and find a studio to podcast from because I can't keep doing it from my home office. It sounds like. But that's cool. I have already have a meeting set up this week. We'll see if I actually have 2 meetings set up. We'll see. Hey man, how you feeling?
I'm actually feeling good, man. Despite the weekend that we had, I'm still feeling good, man. I mean,
both our Bucks and our Noles lost.
Yeah, and I'm more happy about the Noles lost than the Bucks lost. That
was tough. But the Eagles are really good.
Right. And we're really hurt.
Right. And we're really banged up. And it looks like we're going to get healthier later in the season, which is when we need to be nasty. I have faith in the Bucks in the division, so I'm not really worried about the path to the playoffs. So I'm really looking at the regular season more so than most years. It's actually a luxury to think this way, but I'm looking at the regular season as just prep for the playoffs. So
I didn't realize we've been dominating the NFC for so long now. 4 or 5 years, bro?
We went Brady
to the bottom for the longest. Yeah.
Brady Baker, man, that was nice. That's nice little, back to back, right? So,
yep.
The other loss. I'm also a Manchester United fan, so they're losing all the fucking time, but they lost the bad ones. It's crazy. Let's talk about the Noles. Right, it was Friday night, so it feels like a long time ago, sort of. Right, it was a wild football weekend. There was tons going on in college football. We'll talk about college games, but there's also the NFL. It was a wild weekend, but man, we weren't surprised, right? We talked about this was a legit, or at least I talked about this being a legitimate possibility. The look ahead, the trap game. We had, if we had followed through on every tackle and brought everybody to the ground, we would have won, right? It's that simple. It was, and I hate to minimize it to one thing, but I'm not minimizing one person or position player or group. The defense they weren't bringing people to the ground. And the only thing I can think of, besides took the game a little easy, that's part of it. They heard the hype for a month since Alabama, right? There was 2 cupcakes and an off week since Alabama, right? And Virginia seemed ready, and we didn't. you know, and it was very early in the game. Weird shit started happening right away. And I'm like, I start having flashbacks to 1995. I'm in high school.
Mhm.
I'm like I remember it watching the game. My brother's already a student at Florida State. Like,
Mhm.
I'm like, and I literally this weekend, I'm like having flashbacks to that experience. Yeah. It was one thing, man. It was one thing, and we just weren't ready.
Yeah, I'm not gonna down our boys too bad because this Virginia team was a good team. Even with all the injuries that they had
And we got them Super Bowl.
They had hella coaching from their coaching staff. He had them boys motivated and ready to go. One of the biggest I felt factors on their offense versus our defense was that mobile quarterback. He was able to skedaddle with those legs on those key third down drives and those key long situations.
That's a big boy.
Yeah. And I want to say, like, a lot of times it's not just wrapping up. Is he's a big boy and hard to bring down. Kind of like that with their running game as well, or whatever.
Does he have another year of eligibility or 2 more years of eligibility after this year?
I don't know. I gotta look into that.
I wonder. He might. He's the kind of guy that gets like somebody takes a flyer on him in the 5th round, and next thing you know, like 3 years in, we're like, he's a starter.
Right.
And 5 years in, he's on a second contract and he's playing for a little bit. Like, he's the kind of guy that could make it to the Sunday game.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah. And then, like I say, at the end, bro, like we went in a double overtime. You know what I mean? Like, this was one of those losses, and mind me, we've had a lot of freaking losses over the last year or so, or whatever. But this was one of those losses that actually felt good. Felt good. I mean, not to say that losing feels bad, but it felt good in the sense that those guys went out and fucking fought. They fought all the way to the end.
Real talk.
And all of those last second.
Last year, we would not have gone to overtime, double overtime. Last year, there would have been heads down in the 3rd quarter. And like you're absolutely right.
Yeah. They literally. I'm gonna give you an example. They fought until the game was over with. Literally, when old boy dropped that pass, and then the fans bum rushed and didn't even give him time to get up. Like, damn near trampled old boy or whatever. But that shows you we literally fought to the end of it, man.
That stadium's wild with that hill right there and all the fans just like waiting. Like, shit's wild. That shit's wild. And they were there at the end of the 4th quarter. So all through overtime, the double overtime, they kept thinking, "Oh, it's our chance, it's our chance." And all of a sudden, the wave, like the levee broke and the wave came.
Yeah. So that's why I'm excited in our team. That's why out of all the losses I've said we've experienced in the last couple of years, this is one of the most positive ones, just because they fought so hard throughout the game, man. Our offense showed out the whole game. Our defense, they just could have played a little bit better, just a little bit better. But like you say, the last 2 weeks we had 2 scrub teams to go against or whatever. And then, looking at this game on a Friday night with Miami the next week or whatever,
Bad spot, man. It was
right.
Really
It
bad
was just
spot
a bad
to put
spot.
19, 20, and 21-year-olds, that's it.
Yeah.
It was a scheduling loss, right? It was a scheduling loss. And
but I promise you, Virginia will shock the world this year. They gonna go out and beat some teams this year, and I'll tell you, show themselves to be better than what the world thinks of.
Better than I thought.
Oh yeah.
Virginia and Georgia Tech. All right. I mean, Clemson, not for nothing.
Yeah,
like they're not nearly as good as a lot of people thought. But I like had a little sip of the hype. Right at the end, I'm like, okay, maybe the quarterback is good. Nope. Okay, that's Clemson, right? Right at the end, I was like, maybe I'm wrong, and then I turned out I was right. But ACC, man, ACC's for real, man, for real. Georgia Tech's a good football team too. All right, let's talk about some of the other games this past weekend that we had discussed, right? Because you and I, we're not like batting 1,000, but we're having a pretty we're pretty dialed in this season, right? We talked about that USC game where USC was going to Illinois and it was an early start. And even though Illinois was they were 6.5 point dogs, and we're like definitely taking that 6.5. Not only it didn't even come into play. I mean, they won the game on the field, right? They won by 2 points, so it was it worked out very nice for us there. And then we were all over Ole Miss, right? We were all over Ole Miss just because we were wondering if his daughter was doing some scouting for him, you know what I mean? Like was finding out the play calls and shit, you know. Tire out the boyfriend, put him to sleep, look through the playbook late at night, take some pictures on the phone, send her to dad, you know. That's what we were worried about. And hey, worked out. So that was a nice one. Ole Miss Oregon, Penn State. That was
that was the one that we was like, it's close, but you know, if we're gonna pick a team, we're gonna pick Oregon. And...
that was the one that we were a little worried about the travel, right? We kept talking about the travel. I didn't jam that very hard. But I hit Illinois, you know what I mean? And I hit Ole Miss. I put a little something on Oregon after we talked, but like I was respectful of Penn State, right? But maybe it's time to turn down my respect dial. You know what I mean?
Go from down from 10 to 8.
Hey man,
this is great. No, but it's a great Oregon team, though.
Oh, I get that, but they're at home and they keep losing to the best 5, you know, the best teams in the country, top 5, top 10. That means they're not top 5, top 10. You know what I mean? That means they're, you know, just under that class. They're not Ohio State. They're not, Oregon now that they have Oregon in the Big Ten. Like, maybe we need to take Penn State down a notch because, you know, you got to win the big games when you get to play them at home, right? Like I'll give you credit. If this was a neutral site, I'll be like, man, Penn State, they're still really good. Oregon's nasty.
But at home,
Oregon's, you know, but
you have to be the man to be the man.
Right. So if I'm going to continue to take Penn State seriously and consider them a top 5 in the country team and consider them, you know, on par with the best teams out of the SEC and the rest of the Big Ten, they got to show me more in those big spots. You know, they had them. They had the fans. They had the you know, everybody was dialed in. It looked amazing. It looked amazing on TV. You know, rise to the occasion, Penn State. Rise to the occasion, and that's a coaching issue. That's not a talent issue. They have the talent to be in these games.
The talent.
They just put 24 points up on Oregon, on the best team in the country. You know, they have the talent. It's just coaching. Dude, I know it's an off-camera conversation. We've been texting about this. Can you see Gruden? Can you see John Gruden as Penn State's next head coach?
Ooh, that one. I don't know about that one.
I don't know. I figure if he's going to be in college, it's going to be in the South.
Yeah.
Penn State. I don't know. They're the kind of team. I see Penn State has this weird history that they now have to, like, if they're hiring anybody, that person has to be squeaky fucking.
Yeah, that's what.
That's actually. But it would have. Visually, it works, but it doesn't really. It's not viable. It's not viable. Pardon me for the sidetrack. The other game we talked about last week, Bama getting 3 at Georgia.
Bro, I knew that one. One, man.
Bro, 24-21. Georgia again, just like what we said about Penn State. You got to win those games when they're at home. When you know you got Bama. Last year and the start of this year, they might have been a little susceptible, you know, and you got to step on their necks while they're down at home. And if you can't protect your house, dude, I don't know if I'm taking Georgia nearly as seriously as I
told you, bro.
You're absolutely right.
This is not the Georgia of old. Like ever since they lost that tight end that went pro or whatever, and even his last year, when he played, because he was hurt the majority of his last year, it's a total different team, bro.
Yeah.
And then all of the talent that they've lost. And it's not to say that they can't, you know, replenish talent, but you can't replenish a starting defensive line for the
Right.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Right,
You know what I mean?
Like, and a few backups.
right.
And a pretty nasty linebacker behind that D-line. Like, it's really crazy. I mean,
yeah. Like you just can't, reproduce that, man, especially during the NIL era or whatever. And
right.
Seeing that in players leaving, going to other. Hey, we got one of their players last year, Marvin Jones or whatever. Yeah. I think he left.
No, but it's a depth issue. The teams that used to be super dominant were able to be dominant by hoarding all the talent and being 3 deep at every position. Now they're 1.5 deep at every position, and a lot of the other schools are, might have a even decent backup. Like, it's crazy. It's a whole different situation.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. It's fun. Only one game this coming week between 2 games this coming week between ranked opponents. We'll get to those in a minute, but let's do let's get into the Pro No report.
Yeah, boy.
Literally 7 minutes before before the show started, or 8 minutes before the show started, I got an alert that our guy Luke Clanton was teeing off. He is playing in. I got to pull it up because it's a weird tournament. The Sanderson Farms Championship in Jackson, Mississippi. It is part of the PGA Fall Swing or Fall Leg or whatever they call it, where a lot of the guys that feel they need to accumulate some points or accumulate some reps or get some checks are, they'll go out and play in the fall. A lot of the bigger names don't get rolling until after the new year when the elevated events start. But this is a great place, or this is a great kind of run of tournaments for him to be playing. It's good, as a young guy transitioning from college to full-time professional golf. This will help him get ready for that post New Year's, serious golf time, so it's good that he's out there, and hopefully he has a great weekend. All right, let's talk about baseball. That's what we got to get to, right? It's the playoffs have started. Our guy Cam Smith, who's on the Astros missed the playoffs. Had a decent year, better, kind of. I guess he as expected. Luke Weaver. Oh, sorry, Jonathan India. For the Royals, they missed the playoffs. Who else? Taylor Walls for the Rays missed the playoffs, and Buster Posey, who's the director of baseball operations for the Giants, they missed the playoffs. So we're done talking about those guys for the year. There's only two more Pro Noles in baseball to discuss in the playoffs. First, you have Luke Weaver, relief pitcher for the Yankees. They are in a 3-game series with the Boston Red Sox. They're a legendary heated rival. They are 1-1 in that series. Luke Weaver appeared in the first game, faced 3 batters, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, took the L in game 1. Did not appear in game 2, but today it is elimination game for both teams. So one of their seasons, either the Red Sox or Yankees, ends today. Now, our guy Cal Raleigh, big dumper. All right. 60, bro. 60 home runs on the season. For a catcher, for a switch hitter. Like, it's amazing. Okay. 60. That's a big number. Rare air. Led his team to the playoffs. They are the 2 seed in the AL. So they are sitting around and they are waiting for the winner of Tigers and Tigers and Guardians, and Cleveland Guardians. They have a new name. Don't forget it. I don't love that. Yeah, I don't know. It's not like football where like you really benefit. You might benefit from a couple of days because you're banged up. In baseball, it's kind of a routine game, and it's almost a punishment to these guys that are the teams that did the best in the, that they have to wait for the wild card teams to play these three-game series. I don't know. Sitting at home for 4 days isn't good for a baseball player when they're in a routine through a year. I suspect. I don't know. So weird things might happen in, like game 1 of those first rounds. So if you know a good podcast that does baseball content, I bet you now's the time to listen in and see if you can't find a spot or two to make some money. I don't know baseball well enough to give out gambling advice, It's a really tough sport to cover gambling wise because it's 7 days a week and it's like 6 months or 7 months, 8 months long, right? So
That's
it's a
crazy.
slog. Right? I don't have it in me, but so good luck to the two of them in their playoff runs with the Yankees and Mariners respectively. So let's get to football, right? Let's talk about the guys that lost this weekend because it's always fun to do that first because then we get to end with all the winners. Thursday night was the Arizona Cardinals. They lost to the Seattle Seahawks. Josh Sweat had a pretty good game, man. Pretty good game. 2 tackles and a sack, plus he forced a fumble. He's, that's a pretty good game. He's, he has everything he needs to be a great linebacker in the league. I would love to see him keep getting better and better and better, Trey Benson, though, sad story, buddy. After James Conner is out for the season, right? Trey Benson's getting all the touches. We talked about it. He got 8 carries for 45 yards, five receptions for another 15, but pretty bad knee injury. He is now on the IR. That's at least 4 weeks. I don't know. I haven't heard. Yeah, I haven't heard anything longer. I don't know if it's longer than that, but so that's sad stuff right there. Who else lost? Ryan Fitzgerald plays for the Panthers, right? He not only did the Panthers lose to the New England Patriots, but he hadn't missed a field goal all season. He missed his only field goal attempt this weekend. It was from 55 yards. He also missed an extra point. He had a bad week. Panthers obviously lost. Who else? The Chargers lost to the Giants. That was crazy. That knocked a lot of people out of survivor pools all over. But our guy Derwin James really beasted out. 8 tackles, half a sack, a big stuff, right? Tackle for loss, right? He is quietly, if the Chargers make a big run, he might be a defensive player of the year, candidate this season. Chargers, I mean, that's their first loss. If they, if they only have 2 or 3 on the regular season, and you watch out. That might be worth having a look at the odds on. Who else lost this weekend? The Jets. The Jets. They always lose. They're on 4 on the season. They lost to the Miami Dolphins, who are not good. All right. There are 2 Knowles. Unfortunately, neither of them played. Jermaine Johnson has an ankle injury, and he's questionable for next week. That sucks because he had a bad injury last year, didn't he?
Bro, his whole NFL career he's been hurt. Like outside of his rookie year where he showed up and showed out or whatever, every year since then he's been either hurt or having nagging injuries,
or like coming off an injury. That's the other problem. Is even when you come back from an injury, you're still not 100 most of the time. And Azariah Thomas, he's healthy. He just didn't see the field at all. All right. Oh, wait. The other team that lost is two more. The 49ers lost. They lost to Jacksonville Jaguars. That's their first loss of the year. Tatum Bethune played a little bit. No stats of note. But Renardo Green did not play. It's a neck injury last week. But he is listed as active and healthy for tonight. So whatever it was, got past it, or at least good enough to be back out there tonight. They play Thursday Night Football.
Cool.
And Eddie Goldman on the Commanders, defensive tackle for the Commanders. They lost to Atlanta. He got 2 tackles and stuff. So now let's get to the winners because we like winners. Keon Coleman on the Bills. The Bills are undefeated. They beat the New Orleans Saints. He got 3 for 45. That's pretty much it. He's getting 3 receptions. He's getting like 25 to 45 yards. And watch, at the end of the season, he's going to have compiled. He just had a great year, and he's going to have these couple games. I think he's going to have a couple games where he just beats out. But the fact is, the defense knows where he's at, buddy. The defense knows exactly where he's at every play because he's a weapon in the making, right? Who else we got? Mario Edwards Jr. First action of the season. He got 2 tackles and a stuff in a win for the Texans. Their first win of the season. They beat the Titans. That's
Oh,
cool.
man.
Like right before Florida State, Miami, we got a Florida State guy beating Cam Ward and the Titans. You know, I like that. I like
nice.
that.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Also, we talked about
I
that
feel so
that
bad for
Jaguars.
Cam Ward.
Yeah, man. Again, you know, don't get me started.
Yeah, I ain't gonna get you started, but you already
The draft
know.
is fucking bullshit, dude. The draft is unfucking American. It fucking literally echoes back to like the ugliest time in American history. Just to start with, all right?
They equip them like bringing a butter knife to a nuclear war. That's how equipped Cam Ward is.
You put the best talent on the worst fucking teams, and then you shorten their careers. And they have no fucking say. It's like it's so un-American. Whatever. Everybody should be a free agent every year. No more multi-year deals. Everybody 1 year deal. All right. So that was Mario Edwards. Glad he's back, or at least glad he's out there. You know, he hadn't played. He was healthy all season, but he just hadn't played. And I think he didn't do much in the preseason. So I think maybe that was part of it. You know, he just wasn't ready to go yet. We talked about the Jaguars. They they beat the 49ers. A little surprising, but the 49ers, you know, they're not 100% at the quarterback position, we'll say. But Jerry Jones had he was out week 3, so it's nice that he was back. He only had a tackle, but it was nice to see him out there. Derek Nandi, who plays for the Chiefs, they had a win to get to 500. They beat the Ravens. That's a big win, man. Ravens are really good.
Yeah.
Nandi did not play, but he's healthy. So, you know, he's kind of a sparingly used kind of guy these last 2 years or 3 years. But when he's out there, he makes an impact. The Rams beat the Colts. Brandon Fisk played a little bit, no real stats of notes, but he's listed as active for next week. He was coming off, it was like an oblique or something. It happened right before the previous game, like while they were stretching, right? But so it's good that he's out there. That's good. Jared Verse had a pretty good game, man. 4 tackles and a sack.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we talked about ball. Yeah, man, he's a monster. Rams, sneaky fucking Super Bowl contender. Rams, very good team, man. Very good team.
Only thing I worry about them for is the quarterback position. Like Buddy getting old, so like he reminds me of like Brett Favre the last 5 to 6 years of his career, where he's phenomenal when he starts out, but when it gets to like end of the game and playoffs, you know, it's a long season. Body start breaking you down on you or whatever. It's a longer season now than then.
Yeah. But then the other argument there is he knows it's now or never. Right? It's that last dance, you know what I mean? And you know, he'll do whatever he's got to do to be out there. You know? I love that story though. I love that old guy.
Oh yeah. I've been loving him ever since Georgia. I've been following him ever since Georgia, bro.
I could see him riding off into the sunset after a W in the Super Bowl though. Like that would be a perfect end to that storybook, bro. After the Detroit years and then going to LA.
Oh my goodness. Changing. Yeah.
What a career, man. It would be cool to see him go out. Well, you know, win one on the way out this year, next year, or whatever, and call it a wrap. But
Stafford always been a solid quarterback though.
Yeah. And I really do like that head coach. I think he's one of the smartest.
Oh yeah.
All right, so talked about the Patriots beating Carolina. So Joshua Farmer played a little bit for the Patriots. He got a tackle. He was out there. Nice. I like that he's in the mix. We talked about how the Giants beat the Chargers. Our guy Jameis Winston did not play, but he's active. He's healthy. You know, you never know if he's going to be out there or not.
Trade my dog. Let's trade him, man. Trade him because they started.
You might need him, bro. You might need him. Jackson Dart got a concussion. You know what I mean? You never know what's going to happen. They might need. Right. They might need to go 3 deep.
Russell Wilson is ass.
AJ, right? He's grown up. He's an old man. He's an old man.
Man, Brady won a Super Bowl at 40. It ain't no age, you know what I'm saying?
Brady also doesn't eat like nightshades, and he has avocado ice cream, and like really does like everything. Right? Also, Brady's a couple inches taller just a different kind of quarterback. He didn't spend his young years running the ball and getting tackled and stuff, right?
Yep.
Also on the Giants, sad story, buddy. Graham Gano, one of the guys who's been in the league forever, got injured in warm-ups. He messed up his groin in warm-ups.
Oh, that's horrible for you.
That's bad, right? He's now on the IR. I don't know how long. It's at least 4 weeks, man. So hopefully he's healthy soon. Somehow they won the game. They beat the Giants. The Giants beat the Chargers without their place kicker, which is just wild. And also Brian Burns, really also, he's a big part of this Giants defense. He had 3 tackles and a sack. He did very well. And then is that everybody? Oh, well, one last one. Jalen Ramsey, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
They are 3-1. They beat the Minnesota Vikings in Dublin, Ireland. And Jalen Ramsey contributed 4 tackles to the cause, man. They are Ireland's team. I imagine they're going to go over there as often as possible. That was I don't know what we're going to call it. We're going to say that was my biggest play of the weekend, and I was able to take the rest of Sunday off. That was very nice. So,
nice.
Yeah, man, that is your Pro No Report for Thursday, October 2nd, 2025, presented by National.com.
Yes, sir. Gotta love them no's and the pros. So that's what's
right.
up,
we
man.
keep supporting the nation. You know what I'm saying? You go to Florida State, but you stay part of the nation forever.
Yeah, you go to Florida State, and then Florida State goes with you wherever you go. See?
That's what this show is all about. This show is about the nation of national. The nation of Seminole supporters.
Right.
I do it like that. But this is about the nation of Noel supporters. And, we celebrate. We celebrate those who once represented. We represent for them forever. That's it. That is it. So let's talk about this weekend in college football. There's only 2 games to talk about. Right? One of them is ours. So the other, number 16. You don't say this very often, especially in October. Number 16, Vanderbilt are getting 10.5 points at number 10, Alabama. This is a big game. Besides the fact
they're giving Vanderbilt 10 points.
Yeah, so Alabama is minus 10.5. Vanderbilt is plus 10.5, right?
Yeah.
And this is a big game. Remember, it was that was what set the Alabama fans off last year. They lost to Vanderbilt, and that was the beginning of this ain't saving. This ain't saving. That was the beginning of the panic. Right?
Damn, I forgot all about that. Right.
Dude, we're talking about making money here, bro. This do not be scared of 10.5 points here.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No.
Not
at all.
Like, who the fuck has ever circled the Vandy game on the calendar? This is the first time ever somebody pulled a Sharpie out and circled Vandy on this fucking schedule, right? Like,
right.
First time ever.
Vandy used to be a freaking homecoming game versus most
exactly, bro. They were the team everybody in the SEC stepped on, right? Not no more, buddy. Not no more, right? Vandy come to play. Vandy beat Alabama last year. Everybody's sipping the Vandy juice, all right? Alabama is going to be fired up for this game in a way that you don't usually see Alabama get fired up for. Right? They're going to prove a point, and they're going to get even. I firmly believe Alabama wins by 20.
Yeah. If it was in Vanderbilt, I would probably be like, I don't know. But with it being in Tuscaloosa, bro, and even if it was in Vanderbilt, I still think they would show up and show out. But the fact that it's home and everything that they got going on,
they carried the fucking field goal thing, threw it in the river after they beat them, right? Didn't they go crazy?
Right. Yeah.
I think Alabama's going to be like, yo, fuck you guys. Watch how we celebrate. Watch how we celebrate. Right? Oh man, like I just think Alabama is going to be ready. I get I give Vanderbilt no chance. I feel bad. I legitimately feel bad for the offensive linemen for Vanderbilt, who are very talented, but they are just going to be lined up against people that are rabid, right? Like rabid, man, just rabid. It's going to be real. It's going to be real out there. And I'm going to watch because I like watching. Yeah. Like I've never really rooted for Alabama, right? I've always kind of been anti-Alabama, but there's something about this, and
I used to.
I guess you know what it
every
is.
Time they play Florida,
after they got fucked up last year and kind of swatted down a little bit, you know, with this coaching change, and I like them more. They're almost like, I'm not calling them, you know, plucky underdogs or anything like that, but like, I don't know. I like that people are like hating on them, you know, and so
because they've moved back into the underdog position after losing Nick Saban. They hired DeBoer from Washington, and you know, SEC schools bias looking at this up northern of this Yankee coming down here, this person from Washington
Pacific coming down Northwest here, where the hell is that, right?
right. So it is and then with everything going on with the NIL or whatever, the balancing of the teams and stuff, people are Alabama's down, and to add the cherry on top, them losing to us the first game of the year after we went 2-10, they completely wrote them boys off, man. So they've been dealing with that underdog mentality after that game versus us, man, and they've only gotten better and better afterwards, bro.
It makes them endearing in a weird way. All right, so that's it, man. There's no other matchup between ranked teams.
What is not a ranked team, but I would keep an eye on the Florida Texas. You got a Manning versus Florida going on, man.
Manning's on a get right mission, right? Texas is on a get right mission after a weird start to the season. Really a tough. Talk about our schedule L that we got. They got a tough. They got the schedule L by going to Ohio State, right? They played that in Columbus, Ohio, to start the season. That wasn't a neutral field or anything like that. That is a tough spot for Texas. So
then whatever team takes the loss gets the nail in the coffin. So
they might hang Fitty on Florida. Florida's bad.
Right.
Florida's bad. Yeah, man. So let's do it. Let's talk about the most important game Florida State football has ever played. It is this weekend. Number 3, Miami Hurricanes are coming up to Tallahassee to play number 18, Florida State Seminoles. Most of the books have it at either 4 or 4.5. You know, Florida State is the underdog. Home dog.
Of course, I can see that after last week.
Yeah. I'm betting that. Taking points at home.
Right.
You're giving Florida State points at home. I'm betting them. I don't care who.
Right. Hell yeah.
This year, right now, or at least this weekend. But forget about the gambling part. Let's just talk a little football. I can't imagine. It had to be a really shitty flight back from Virginia. You know, it had to be a look in the mirror type flight back from Virginia. Those kids at Virginia rushed that field, and all those players were still on it. You know what I mean? Like they got swarmed. You know, and that's an extra like that's a reminder of what you just went through. You had a chance to come into this game against Miami and potentially every game undefeated and make a real run. And now there's no what happened was we moved the bar, we moved the fucking line, right? We moved the first down line. Our expectations at the beginning of the year were like, yo, you think we can get into the ACC championship? And then very quickly when we beat Alabama and then, you know, hung 750, you know, it went from that to, are we going to be a national championship team? Like are we?
Right.
And all of a sudden it was, let's go undefeated. Let's not lose. And hey, we're going to fuck Miami up. We got slapped in the face, you know, and the question, and I asked you, the question for you is, how are they going to react to getting that, right? Is that going to lead to, you know, sometimes you get a loss and it affects you the next week and the next week, and you end up getting 2 losses as, you know, like a buy one, get one free deal, right? Sometimes that should wake your ass up. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm asking you, what do you think? What do you suspect the reaction from the Florida State Seminoles to be?
Everything lining up in our way, I feel like, man. Like I say, even though it was a tough loss, it was a loss that they was competing to the last second. So it wasn't in the sense of, hey, we really lost. It's damn, we let them get away with it. Or, damn, if only we had got that last catch in the game or whatever. So that doesn't do much to hurt your confidence, I feel like. And then we got Miami coming in at home. It's a different game now. Last game, I felt like the mobile quarterback is kind of what hurt our defense the most. We ain't got to worry about that shit with Carson Beck. You know what I'm saying? So that makes me feel a lot better with our defense versus their offense. Carson is not going to do anything with his legs. He's going to have to fucking Tom Brady that motherfucker versus us or whatever. So that makes me... That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That makes me feel a lot better. He's going to be pressured. He's going to probably feel the most pressure that he has all season long. Makes him uncomfortable and stuff or whatever. At the same time, on the flip side on offense, we're going to get more pressure than we've probably seen all year long or whatever from their defensive line.
Yeah, this is the biggest test Tommy
Castellanos
is going to have. And it's maybe his entire college career. This is his biggest game he's ever played.
I wouldn't say that because he was at Boston College 2 years ago when they played Miami with that.
Boston College didn't have at any point prior to this year did he ever have a legitimate path to the national championship. Like all he has to do is lead his team to victories throughout the rest of the season, and he will legitimately be in the national championship. That wasn't going to happen ever before at UCF or at BC. So this
I know,
is
but to say his time in Boston College, he's familiar with the ACC and playing against the ACC talent or whatever.
I didn't mean to imply that he wasn't ready for the big game, right? I didn't mean to like he knows. I'm not saying anything he doesn't tell himself. This is the biggest game of his college career.
Right. And I'm just saying he's more prepared than most quarterbacks would be because, for one, he's played against the Florida State team with Jared Verse and, all of the stacked deep line that we had, and he balled the fuck out against us or whatever. So he's just now in a better position with more talent around him to compete with him, but he's always shown that he's a star and can, go out and contribute on the field and move the needle with his team or whatever.
Let me ask you a question. Had Tommy Castellanos, knowing his last few seasons in college football, had he come to Florida State and they improved from last year, and at the end of the year they had 8 wins, is he getting drafted high in the NFL draft? Probably not. Maybe somebody takes a flyer late, right?
Yeah.
Maybe somebody takes a flyer late.
Yeah, right. No.
Now, if he comes to Florida State and he revives that shit from last year, and all of a sudden they make a fucking run in the playoffs because they haven't lost. They have one loss all season because this crazy Friday night game in Virginia, and they beat Florida, and they beat fucking Miami, and he has that year. Suddenly, he's a second rounder. Maybe even late first round. If he's invited to New York and gets a national championship ring, he's legit. He has the chance to change the narrative here. I'm just saying this is the biggest game of his career. There's a lot on the line. If he goes out and beats Miami this weekend at home, and he continues to lead Florida State to a great season, he potentially changes his trajectory professionally.
I just say his draft stock maybe go up a little bit, but look at Jalen Monroe last year. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Monroe, with being a Heisman finalist and all of that, he still got drafted 3rd round, and that's coming out.
That's how it's pronounced.
Jalen Milroe.
You put the row. The emphasis is on the row, not the mill. That makes way more sense, man. It's the fucking golf.
I don't even remember.
Of course it's Milroe. Of course it's Milroe. Why did he go to LSU? He could have spelled it Reaux. Like Burrow did. He's an idiot.
But and I love Castellano. I love his spirit and everything, but just what they're looking for at the quarterback position in the NFL and his size alone, bro. You got to look at how small he is.
He's got 2 inches on Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
He's
but
got 2
Kyler Murray
inches.
put
He's
up
got
some
3 inches
freaking.
on Bryce.
But also, Kyler Murray was a passer, and he outside of running, he threw a lot more than what Castellanos does. It's just 2 different dynamics of quarterbacks or whatever. I feel. I hope the best for the kid, and I hope his draft stock, first round, top 10 shit if he can.
I mean, JT got drafted in the 3rd round with a fucking coming off a horrible injury. I mean, motherfuckers get drafted. Quarterbacks always get drafted higher.
This is also post Anthony Richardson getting drafted by the Colts and bombing out. So a lot of those teams are kind of really, really iffy on drafting those.
That dude was like 19. What the fuck were they thinking drafting the youngest quarterback to ever in the draft or something?
I agree. I totally agree. And he's from my hometown too.
That's a Colts mistake. That's not an
I agree.
That's not an
But the image alone is don't take it's bad for athletic quarterbacks, put it that way. That draft pick was really bad for athletic quarterbacks, and it even showed the next year coming out. I don't think no quarterback drafted in the 1st round was like a true Michael Vick prototype type quarterback or whatever. All of them was your premier pocket passes, maybe some that could mobilize a little bit or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, there's fewer quarterbacks that don't have it in their bag, but there's also fewer quarterbacks that rely on it. So it's just the evolution of the sport. Evolution of the sport. What's Florida State got? What are we going to see if Florida State wins this game? Like what is it? Whether it's Florida State or on the Florida State side of the ball or the Miami side of the ball, like what's going to be the factor that would have to, like, how would it have to work out?
Defense, we got to shut down Carson Beck, which we've seen a bunch of teams do. Florida.
We have that capability.
That's what I'm saying.
We have the D that if they play right, but we also have to tackle people all the way to the ground.
Yeah. Tackle people all the way to the ground. As long as we can force them to pass more than they can run or whatever, that means get an early lead, and then put their ground game under control, we should be good, bro. Because our offense is going to show out. It's just how many points do they have to score, and I'm pretty sure we about to see that bag from Gus this game. We about to see some reverses and some options and some we're going to see that bag this game.
Yeah. And there that could have played into what happened at Virginia. Like, he didn't want to pull everything out. I mean, he pulled out some shit.
Score some damn points.
I mean, Gus is Gus, dude. He's just he's going to do weird shit. Like, you just got to be ready for it. And sometimes it doesn't work out, right? Like, there's a couple plays there in the 4th quarter that I wish had gone differently, maybe when they planned it out. But, it is what it is. There's a lot of those plays that go well, and it brings a lot of joy to my life, so it's worth it. I think I love that this game's in Tallahassee. Right? I love that this game is in Tallahassee. I think that the guys need it after a road loss. They need to be back at home, and they're going to need to see all 90,000 people chanting "fuck Miami" for 4 straight hours. Like, that's I know it's fueled by anger towards the other team, but that's a love fest for the guys. For the players out there, right? Yeah. And it's going to be good for their mentals. You have to go out there and just those first couple hits, you got to bust some Hurricanes in the mouth, man. Those first few hits, they got to let the Hurricanes know that this is a real fucking game this weekend. And that being said, go ahead, Coach. Tell them, man. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
All right, man. Hey, man. You guys fought hard last week. You fought to the end, the nitty-gritty, down to the micro follicle of the titty. Y'all got all the way into it, and at the end, right a precise second before the bell rung, we lost. Well, you know what? That's okay, because you laid it all on the field. You left it all on the field. And that is in preparation for this week versus our rival of the year, Miami. Offense, we need y'all guys to go out there and do what y'all do. Run that ball left, right, up, down, all over the field, my baby. Put them points on the board. Defense, wrap up. Lay that wood. We need a community tackling process. When one person get there, then the other, then the other, then the other. Every play. Stop that guy, Carson Beck. Show him why he left Georgia and why the grass wasn't greener on the other side. He hasn't played that many defenses that can do what we can do, guys. So go out there. This is a rivalry game. We're at home, and they're giving them points against us. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Hey, we're going to do what we do in No Nation. We're going to lay down the hard hats and get gritty with it, baby. We ready. You only got one job, and that one job is leave it all on the field. And that's it. As long as we leave it all on the field, we good.
Hell yeah. Let's go. I'm ready. I love it. I'm ready to run through a wall for you. I'm ready, coach. I'm ready. All right, let's wrap it up. I'm beginning to get the butterflies already. Yeah, I'm literally beginning to get the tingles, you know. We got 2 days. I got 48 hours. I got a lot of stuff to do in the next 48 hours, too. I can't be not focused on the task. Oh, that's okay, though. Big week. All right, let's wrap it up. This is the National Show. It is filmed, recorded, shared live on YouTube every Thursday morning during the season. Some Thursday mornings after the season. It is youtube.com/@national NATIONOLE. Please make sure you hit that little bell notifications thing and subscribe and all that. Super helpful. If you prefer the show as an audio product, it is available via the Bet Your Ash podcasting network at betyourash.com or the Bet Your Ash feeds on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We have all the social medias and stuff. You can find all the links at national.com or on our link tree. It is linktree.com/NATIONOLESHOW, National Show. Gangsterville also has Linktree. Check it out. /Gangsterville, GAINSTAVILLE. There you will find all of his social links, plus links to all of his music. There's tons available. There's more coming soon. It is on all the platforms on the internets. You should listen to it on all the platforms, like it and share it, and do all the activations on all the platforms, because that's the best way to support your friends who make music. And Gangsterville is a good friend to support. And like I said, they're doing construction. I got to get a studio. That shit's expensive, man. So please, national.com, NATIONOLE.com. You know how to spell com. There you will find hoodies, shirts, coffee mugs. We got national gear. All right, grab it all. There's a dope tote bag. You can get everything you need. You're stepping out right into it. Take it with you, right over the shoulder. So hit that up. I believe that is everything. Did I forget anything, homie?
Nope. Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, go Noles.
Go Noles.
And you have just finished listening to the National Show with Gangsta, Physio, and McGee.